Are we good this time?
Yeah.
All right, take two. This time, episode 3, take 2 of Sports on Tap podcast, episode 3. We're back for another week of our Sports on Tap podcast.
hmm
We've got a big announcement coming up at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. So today's topic for this week, our round 1 recap. Besides Vegas, we're going to preview this coming week for round 2. We're going to then go for our head-to-head predictions for this week, and then we'll finish off with some round 2 multis. So, as we said, Onyx, footy is back. How do you rate round 1?
No, it was good. Like we already saw the Vegas rounds, but I rate the other rounds as well, especially the Cowboys and the Cowboys game.
Dolphins.
Smashing the Dolphins.
What was your favorite game from that round?
Not including Vegas, probably the Cowboys and Dolphins.
That
Definitely.
Cowboys-Dolphins game was a very good, which we'll get to very shortly. So, to quickly go through a quick recap of round 1, we kicked off things Thursday night. 12 to the
Mm.
Raiders. So, what were your thoughts on that one? Obviously, a bit of an upset. Did you think
Oh,
maybe the Knights just didn't turn up?
I don't know, but whatever happened there, thank God, because I won like $500 because of the first half of the upsets for the round. So we're grateful for it.
Yeah, it was a very good game from the Raiders. I think Knights, they got off to a bit of a slow start. I mean, the Raiders, the first try didn't come until the 25th minute.
Mm.
So halftime it was 8-6. Then that second half was just all Canberra, scoring
Mm.
20 points. But a big talking point coming from this game was the Hudson Young sin bin. Obviously, if you didn't see it, Hudson Young got suspended on a no try from the Knights for a bit of a
Mm.
push for elbow to Ponga's head. Do you think that should have been a sin bin call?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, those situations are pretty tough, you know, like, but probably just because it is dangerous to do things like that. So,
I mean, a bit of a Raiders coach, Ricky Stewart, was on about in the post press conference saying, "What's the sin bin for?" I mean, it was pretty clear, Ricky. Hudson elbows upon his head, no need for it, even though
Mm.
it was a no try, but still no need for it. But Raiders got up there. Next game was the Friday night footy. Another upset.
Mm.
Cronulla 16, the Wars 12. Warriors were up 12 points to nil in this game.
Mm.
Cronulla going to score 16 unanswered points.
Mm.
So big win for the Sharkies there.
Yeah.
And which did set up a Sharks were down 12-10. Repeat set to the Warriors. Nico Hines puts in a short dropout. Recovered by the Sharks. They go to 100 meters to set up the match-winning try to see for Talakai. So that was huge
Mm.
from Nico and his club to
Yeah.
give the Sharks a 16 to 12 point win. And then another big, probably the biggest upset of the round, the Melbourne Storm without Cameron Munster, keeping the reigning premiers, the Panthers,
Yeah.
to 0 in an 8-0 victory. What a
Yeah.
game that was.
Their attack was awful. Like the Panthers' attack, that was a
That
bit
was
crazy.
that's the first time that Penrith have been kept scoreless since 2020. Believe it or not, the last team they kept in nil was the Melbourne Storm in Penrith. Storm took care of things 16-0 down in Penrith. That was the last time. This is the third time in 5 years they've been kept kept triless, and all three of these games were to the Storm. Lost
Mm.
32-2 in 2019, 16-0 2022, and of
Mm.
course 8-0. So that Storm defense is on,
Mm.
but that Storm defense will be a problem. Maybe it was just the Panthers attack. But what was controversial was that no try to the Panthers with Jerome Luai's. Sorry, not Jerome Luai. There was a bit of a controversial obstruction. which led to a try to Penrith that was called an obstruction. So maybe that could have been the turning point in the game. But other than that, Storm took care of things 8-0. So kickoff Saturday footy. We had a huge win. Parramatta 26 over the New Look Bulldogs 8. Big talking point from this game, Stephen Crichton scoring his first try in Bulldogs colours at the 69th minute. But that did not change the effect of this outcome with Para 26 over the Bulldogs 8. Obviously, Para they missed the finals last season. Maybe this could be a wake-up call. And Para could be back. And then we finish off Saturday night on the Gold Coast with a huge 28-4 win. Dragons over the Titans, 28-4.
Called it. New Dragons would win. I called it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Dragons were going to win, but I didn't expect them to win by that much. And how good was young Tyrell Sloan this game, scoring his first ever hat-trick in the NRL. How good was Tyrell that game?
That was good, yeah. I didn't expect him to score a hat-trick, especially in like the first round. But
wasn't he just unreal? There was only the 2 tries in the half, Tyrell Sloan and Calm Pereira. And a bit of a point coming from this game that Zach Lomax, he's not happy being a winger. He doesn't like playing on the wing, but I reckon he was phenomenal on the wing. The only negative that he got from this game was rushing up early on that Calm Pereira try, which gave the Titans their one and only try. But other than that, Dragons 28, Titans 4, and to finish round 1, an absolutely dominant performance from the North Queensland Cowboys to kick off 2024. A huge win at Suncorp Stadium in front of 37,000 people, 43 points to 18. Cowboys win their first Queensland Derby of 2024. Obviously, we're at that game. What a game that was from the Cows.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty good.
And another talking point, the controversial penalty try to Zach Laibert with Jack Bostock illegally taking Zach off the ball. Do you reckon that would have been? You reckon Zach would have scored the try?
I mean, I don't know what happened there. Like, I don't know why didn't someone just dive for it, but
I mean, there was Zach and Nanai, 2 players there. No one wanted it.
Yeah, I have no idea why no one dived for it, but they could if they did, but I don't know why they didn't go for it. But they got it in the end anyway, so.
I mean, the Cowboys could have had 55 points there. Ruben Cotter, no try from Nanai, knocking it on, and then bit of a weird one with Kyle Felt knocking the ball in the corner. No idea how he did it. I don't want to say this, but it's the same spot that he scored in 2015 in the grand final. Same corner as well, different stadium, but this time he knocks on. Don't know. He should have done that in 2015, but it is what it is. So Cowboys ending things out with a 25-point win. And that's round 1. So we now move over to round 2. And to kick things off, Thursday night footy, what a match. What a blockbuster. 2 teams coming from Vegas. The Brisbane Broncos will host the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Thursday night footy, what a way to kick things off for round 2, Onyx.
Yeah, both our teams going at it. We're going to be going there, which is going to be pretty good. And, no matter what happens, nobody wins. I just want it to be a good, close game. That's what I really want at the end.
Yeah, I know we're going to have a rivalry, but end of the day, Bronx win, Bunnies win. All I want is just a close game of footy. I don't want a Broncos 40-point win or a Bunnies 40-point win. But I just want a close game of footy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And obviously, teamless are out already. Adam Reynolds and Brendan Piakura have been cleared to play for the Brisbane Broncos, so they will suit up in the starting 13. And big news this morning coming out of South Sydney, Jai Arrow to miss the rest of the season with a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So that's a big talking point for South fans. And Jack One is 1 game away from returning.
Yeah.
So Jackie Boy will return next week in a huge blockbuster versus the Roosters. But other than that, what a way to kick things off for Thursday night footy. And then we jump over to Friday night, where the Cronulla Sharks will look to go 2 for 2 in 2024, and they will look to keep the Bulldogs winless at 0 and 2 from PointsBet Stadium. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think the Sharks would pummel the Bulldogs, if I'm being honest. I have them for a pretty big win in my multi, but yeah, I don't see Bulldogs winning this one.
Especially after the way that they played last week. I reckon.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it, but by the looks of it, I did watch the highlights, and the Bulldogs' attack was pretty poor. They didn't really wake up till the last 15 minutes of that Para game, but Dogs' attack just looked very poor last weekend.
Yeah.
And Connor Tracy will make his debut against his former side, the Sharks. So what a way to make your debut in enemy colours. And Josh Adokar, who has suffered an injury, ruled out, but he's been named in jersey 23 in the reserves, which a major surprise. Everyone thought it was a broken collarbone. Did look like it, but it was
I don't know
confirmed.
what they're doing with that. I don't understand why they're so insistent on him having him on the field. They should have pulled him out when he looked half dead against being in the match the other week, and now they're trying to have him in on this week. Like I just don't get why they're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, he confirmed muscle strain, but they chuck him into the reserves anyway. But he has been confirmed out for the next couple of weeks. But obviously, Coach Serraldo's maybe expecting that Adokar could be good come Friday game time, but I don't think a muscle strain is going to heal itself within 6 days. So a bit of a surprise there for the Bulldogs, but hey, Connor Tracy steps in to his position on the wing. So that start things off, and I forgot to do this for the Thursday night game, the Brisbane Broncos. Forgot to get some stats, but we'll start off with the stats for the Sharks Bulldogs game. So some key stats from the NRL website. The Cronulla Sharks have won 11 of their past 13 games against the Bulldogs. The Dogs have not won at PointsBet Stadium since 2011. Sharks winger Mulatalo has scored 27 tries in his past 25 games at PointsBet Stadium. The Bulldogs have only won one of their past 8 away games. Co-captain Delphin Nukin will make his 250th NRL appearance on Friday night. And this will be the first. This match will mark the 100th clash between the Sharks and the Bulldogs, who first met back in 1967. So interesting stats coming out of this game. And I'll grab some from the Broncos game. So the Broncos have won 3 of their past 4 against South Sydney. The Bunnies have won their past 4 straight at Suncorp Stadium. Tony Staggs has scored 6 tries in his past 7 against the Bunnies. Fullback Latrell Mitchell requires 1 try to reach a century of NRL tries, so 1 more to reach 100 NRL tries. Broncos centre Selwyn Cobbo has scored 20 tries in his past 18 at Suncorp Stadium. So maybe we could see a lot of tries in this game, hearing those stats, and what a milestone it will be for Latrell Mitchell. If he picks up a meat pie on Thursday night, getting him to the sanctuary. It'd be pretty good if he can score a try.
Yeah.
But after hearing those stats, sounds like it's going to be a try fest at Suncorp.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good either way. But we move on to probably arguably clash of the round. The Penrith Panthers hosting the Parramatta Eels. What a game this is set to be. Friday night footy. The reigning champs taking on the Parramatta Eels, who some would say the Para own Penrith. But what a matchup this is set to be. Live from Bluebet Stadium in Penrith. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is going to be interesting. The Parramatta have the best record against Panthers, so going to see how it goes.
Head-to-head, Panthers are up 26-25 all time. So out of 51 games, it's going to be close. But we got some very good matchups here. Obviously, in the fullback, we got former New South Walesman Clint Gutherson up against future New South Walesman Dylan Edwards.
Mhm.
What a fullback matchup that's going to be, and of course the battle of the two New South Wales halfbacks, Nathan Cleary, Mitchell Moses. What a halfback battle that's going to be.
Cool.
But after Friday night, you'd think it'd be advantage para. Sorry, after Saturday and Friday, the Panthers the Panthers attack looked very, very poor. If they bring the same attacking team that they had from Friday night, mate, Para could win by 20.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And especially the way we saw the Parramatta attack and defense from Saturday night, they look like a team to beat in 2024. If we see the same Para that we did on Saturday Arvo and the same Panthers that we saw Friday night, mate, Para could go on and win by like 20, 30 points, which would be a huge, huge upset down there in Penrith.
Oh yeah.
So, question is, can the Eels start off 2-0, and can the three-time champs start off 0-2? I guess we'll have to wait and see Friday night, but what a blockbuster game that's going to be. We've got
Mhm.
3 good games to kick off round 2. So, what a matchup that's going to be. So, time for some more NRL stats. So, kick things off, the Panthers have won 10 of their past 11 games at Bluebet Stadium. Obviously, their one-loss came to Parramatta last year. Eels have won 4 of their past 6 games against Penrith. Panthers winger Taruva has scored try-doubles in his past 2 games at Bluebet Stadium. Eels fullback Clint Gutherson has scored 5 tries in his past 6 games against the Panthers. And the Panthers have not lost consecutive games to start a season since 2016. So we could see the Panthers starting 0-2 for the first time since 2016.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna. I'm very excited to see. I think sneak peek. I do think Panthers will get up in this game because also with other games, every time they lose, next game they come back really strong. Just like at the end of the minor premiership season, start last season, just got a loss, and then next game they put on a show. So this is gonna be interesting to see.
will be interesting to see. So that's kickoff. And Friday, jump over to our first triple header for Saturday. Kick things off with the Canberra Raiders and the West Tigers playing their first game of 2023 from Canberra. This should be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Raiders should clearly smoke the Tigers. Tigers have picked up some new players. They
Mm.
got former Titan Aiden Caesar, who came from the Super League, and they get new recruit Justin Olam, who's still suffering with a knee injury. Hopeful to be back. Benji for him to be back in round 3
Mm.
against Cronulla. But we see NRL debutant Lachlan Galvin will make his first NRL appearance in the 5/8s up against young rookie Ethan Strange, who made his debut last week.
Mm.
So the Raiders, after the way they played Thursday night, you'd think that they would smoke the Tigers. We haven't seen the Tigers play all season, obviously coming from the bye. And in the preseason challenge, they did beat the Wars. They did lose to the Dragons, though. So,
Mm.
I mean, it's just going to be able to see how do the Tigers adapt with their new coach. Obviously, Premiership winner Benji Marshall. How do you reckon he's going to go? Obviously, now in his first season as head coach.
This is. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know too much, about like specifically how he coaches, but it just like with everything that's been going on, I think everything it's gonna be really interesting. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see.
It will be his first official game as a coach.
Mm.
Um, so it's going to be pretty good. And Raiders, on the other hand, like we said, came with that huge 16-point win. I think Raiders, they should just carry that same momentum. First game in Canberra of the season, coming off a huge 16-point win on the road.
Yeah.
Tigers haven't played a regular season game of the year. I think the Raiders are going to be in for a big. They're going to be hungry for a big win.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. Tigers, we saw a lot of surprises from them last season. They were keeping it close games. In fact, the last time these two met, it was the Raiders who got up 20-19. So
Mm.
it's going to be very, very close. So, Canberra have won their past 7 games against the Tigers. So they've won 7 straight. Tigers have won only one of their past 6 games in Canberra. Fullback Rapana has scored 15 tries in 13 games against the Tigers. As a player, West Tigers coach Benji Marshall has won 11 from 12 in Canberra. The Raiders have not achieved back-to-back wins since round 19 last season. And coach Ricky Stewart has the chance to become only the 7th coach to win 250 first-grade victories when his side hosts the West Tigers. So you could see Benji making it 12 for 13 in Canberra, or we could see Ricky Stewart getting 250 NRL victories. So maybe advantage Raiders, but it's going to be a game time decision. So that's to start things off in Canberra. We then head up north, up to Townsville, where the first place Cowboys will take on the Newcastle Knights. Kalen Ponga making his return once again against his former club in Townsville. How do you rate this game?
Honestly, I'm very surprised with the odds. $1.42 and then Knights are $2.90. It's kind of crazy. Like, I do think Cowboys will win, but I mean, if you're a Knights fan, maybe that is worth chucking a bit of money on that head to head. So, give me a crack of a game, I reckon.
Well, I mean, last week you saw the Cowboys in a dominating display.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
The Knights, no one really expected them. I think most of the people, unless you're a Raiders fan, most fans would have expected the Knights to get up comfortably against Canberra.
Yeah.
So the Knights, their first game on the road, obviously, they're going to be hungry for a win. They're going to be motivated to win after an upset loss. But the Cowboys, obviously, like I just said, they're coming off a huge demolishing victory against their Queensland rivals. First game in Townsville. Meant to be a sellout crowd up there at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Saturday Arvo footy. I don't know, just something about these Cowboys on the Saturday Arvo in Townsville. They're just on another level. The Cowboys on the Saturday Arvo. And I've seen a couple overreactions after the round 1 win that the Cowboys won't lose in Queensland for the rest of the season. So, do you reckon that's going to be an overreaction? After round 1?
Yeah, I mean, maybe probably a little bit, but also maybe not. Like I said, in round 1 and early in the season, it's tough to know the certainty of the future with every team.
I mean, like we said with the Broncos game, and the Bunnies, both teams lost, but it's only round 1. But hearing the Cowboys not losing in Queensland for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, going through their schedule, they play the Knights, all these games in Queensland.
Yeah.
That's a name. So they got the Knights, Broncos, Titans, Penrith, Dolphins, Titans again, Bunnies at Magic Round, the Tigers, Wars, Eagles, Bulldogs, Sharks, Broncos, Raiders, Storm.
Yeah, I think after reading those out, probably a little bit of a reaction then. Now that you read those out.
You'd think that they should lose to, say, the Panthers and the Storm. But to be honest, I didn't pay attention to the Cowboys draw. And after hearing that, it sounds like an overreaction. But I reckon the Cowboys can get it done. I do have a feeling that the Cowboys can go undefeated in Queensland. But honestly, I don't think they can do it. But I reckon they do have that slight chance of winning in Queensland. But like I say, Cowboys, Saturday Arvo footy in Townsville, they're just on a different level when it comes to that. So I just reckon we're going to be in for a very, very good game on Sunday Arvo. So Felt is apparently nearing a record. So the Cowboys have not opened with consecutive wins since 2017. The Knights have not won in Townsville since 2015. Cowboys center Valentine Holmes requires 12 more points to reach 1,000 NRL points. The Knights have failed to score more than 20 points in their past 11 games in Townsville. Cowboys winger Kyle Felt requires one more try to equal Matt Bowen's club try scoring record. So if Kyle Felt scores 2 more tries, sounds like he's going to be the Cowboys' top try scorer in club history.
Ooh.
So what a game that's going to be for our second matchup. And then we kick things off. We go down to Melbourne, where an annual traditional Anzac Day clash is no longer. It is just a normal round-robin game. It is the Melbourne Storm hosting the New Zealand Warriors down in Melbourne. And talk things with the Wars first. That performance, they're obviously, they're coming off a massive 2023 season, making it all the way, doing New Zealand proud, making it all the way to the preliminary final. And they're coming off another surprise upset loss to Cronulla. You then travel down to Melbourne to play a team that just kept the reigning premiers to 0. I mean, can the Storm maybe start the first 2 games without conceding points? Maybe, you reckon? I mean, after that Wars attack, they did score the first 12 straight points when they conceded 16. Could the Storm start the season off 2 games without conceding points? I mean, it could be close.
Could be close.
It could be very, very close, but I reckon they can. I reckon the Storm can definitely keep the Wars scoreless, especially after the way that their defense was against the Panthers, and especially the way that the Warriors' attack was on Friday night. I do have the feeling that they can keep them scoreless, but it's all going to come down to game. Everything's just going to come down to the game time. And looking at the team list now, there's still no Sean Nickel-Klogstad. The Warriors and the Storm have named their same 17 from their games before, but this is still looking like a good matchup. Obviously, the battle of the halfbacks, Jerome Hughes and Sean Johnson, 2 Kiwi halfbacks. I reckon we are definitely in for a very, very good game, especially in the hookers. Harry Grant, Wade Egan is looking like a very, very good matchup. But other than this, I reckon the Storm can definitely keep the Wires scoreless in this game.
It's definitely possible.
Like we said, all going to come down to game times. There's still no Kane Munster as well. He's going to take another week off with his groin injury. And big Nas Nelson Asafa Solomona will also take another week off, just trying to recover from his injury, who was battling with the hamstring problem. So the Storm, they have won their past 14 straight games against the Warriors. The Warriors have not won at Amy Park since 2014. Warriors finished with a 50% winning record in Australia in 2023. And Storm winger Xavier Coates has scored 8 tries in his past 4 games against the Warriors. That obviously dates back to his 5 try scoring game versus the Wars on Anzac Day. So sounds like the Storm will get things done. That's a very good stat, very interesting stat that the Storm have won 14 straight versus the Warriors. So that sounds like it dates all the way back 10 years ago to 2014. Which, actually, no, I think 2015 was the last time the Warriors beat them, which was actually over in New Zealand. With that, I don't know if you've seen it, but Nathan Friend and his backflip pass, he passed it between his legs, upside down. So if you haven't seen it, I will show you, but I'm sure most people remember that game. So I think that's the last time they won. So it sounds like massive advantage to the Storm. And I reckon they do get things, take care of business.
Oh, yeah.
So we jump over to now Sunday. 2 more Vegas teams. Manly Seagulls hosting the Sydney Roosters. Both these sides winners are obviously over in Vegas. So we could see Manly 2-0. We could see the Roosters 2-0. But I don't know. This is looking like it's going to be a very, very good and interesting matchup. Played at Four Pines Park. Even though the Roosters are the favourites for this matchup, I do reckon after the way that Manly played in Vegas, I do feel like that they can win this game for sure.
Oh yeah. The other thing is
But
that they got a little bit of a big loss. Jason Saab.
Jason Saab, yes, out for 6 weeks, hamstring injury. And Tommy Talau, the young recruit from the Tigers, including Luke Brooks-Swap, is taking his place on the wing. Tommy Talau, obviously, if you know him in fantasy, he doesn't do too well. So, sounds like he's going to be the replacement of Saab for the next 6 weeks. And it's just been very unfortunate for Jason Saab because 2022, he actually suffered an ACL injury versus the Gold Coast Titans. He came back halfway through last season, and now he's out with a hamstring injury. So it's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Jason Saab, but other than that, Manly, Manly have named the same 17, I believe, from Vegas. Same with the Roosters. They've made a couple of changes into that squad. Speaking of the Roosters, obviously big news coming out of there. Spencer Leniu will face 8 weeks on the sidelines with his racial slur towards Ezra Mam. So he's going to face 8 weeks on the sidelines. His return game will be versus the Warriors.
Oh, actually, I do want to say something about
10.
that. I was watching someone, and I 100% agree with them. It should have been 7 weeks instead, because then the game he'll come back in will be Roosters versus Broncos. Imagine
Yes,
that would have sold out easily. So
that would have been
that was
every
a bit
time
of a
Spence
missed
touched the ball.
opportunity.
That's what I was thinking. Could he return versus the Bronx? But
Yeah,
obviously, knowing that if he was to come back that game, Bronx fans would have been up him. And
it would
Spencer
so
actually has been trying to reach out to Ezra Mam, saying that he wants to apologize to him face to face, but Ezra has declined that opportunity. Ezra says that he wants to just focus on football. He wants to leave that behind. And obviously, everyone respects that Ezra Mam decision, though. Racial slur, but you just want to move on from it. You want to stick to the game, playing the game you love. The season started. You don't want that affecting you. So, lend you to take 8 weeks, sorry. And another key player for the Roosters, Dominic Young, will make his debut versus the Seagulls. Obviously, suffered that crusher tackle versus Manly in, I think it was preseason challenge. Yes, it was preseason challenge. So he's making his debut for the Chooks on the wing. So it'll be very, very good to see how Dominic Young goes in his first game as a Sydney Rooster. So, stat time for these boys. So the Eagles have not started the season with back-to-back wins since 2013. Roosters have won 3 of their past 4 games at Four Pines Park Stadium. Manly fullback Tom Trbojevic has scored 6 tries in his last 6 games versus Chooks. Roosters winger Daniel Tupou has scored 12 tries in his past 13 against Manly. And the new forward, Nathan Brown, will play game number 150 for the Manly Seagulls. So, end of second week of NRL, we go to Redcliffe. It is the Dolphins hosting the Dragons. Obviously, we spoke about this earlier. Dolphins coming off a horrific loss. Dragons coming off a tremendous victory. So we could see the Dolphins signing off 0-2 and the Dragons 2-0. And I've already seen a lot of overreactions that maybe the Dragons are back to winning premierships. But
that's funny.
I mean, the Dragons are a very young team. I don't think they're going to win a premiership anytime soon. But the Dragons are always like this. I think it was back in 2021 they started off the season 4-1, and then they started slipping away. But this is just the Dragons. They're always good up until April, then they start to slip away. But Shane Flanagan has gone with the same 17, but actually he's only made one change. one main change. New recruit Luciano Leilua, who has been named off the bench for the St. George Illawarra Dragons, coming from North Queensland. So that's a very, very big name to have off the bench. There was a massive, came from the Tigers originally, then went to the Cowboys for one season, and here he is now in the red and white for the Dragons. So they can go 2-0 to start the season. And I don't know who they play the week after. They do play the Cowboys the week after. So they could start things 3-0. But Dragons coming off that 24-point win on the Gold Coast. They then travel up the M1 to go play the Dolphins, who just lost by 25. And we could see another big win for the Dragons here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible, especially since the Dolphins, who got smashed, didn't exactly look the best when versing the Cowboys. So yeah.
No, I mean their Dolphins attack looked very sloppy.
Yeah.
They were letting too many 6-to-go calls.
Especially with the
Letting in
hammer
so
with
many.
that try assist for the Cowboys, you know?
Yeah, I thought he was still playing for the Cowboys, but he thought he was still in the Cowboys jersey, and so they realized that he's playing for the Finns. So don't know what happened there, Hammer. So he had a bit of a brainwash, but I'm sure he's recovered from that now. You know, he just let in a try that could have made them lose by 19, but he said he wanted to lose by 25. So it is what it is, Hammer. So there's, you can come to the Bronx if you want, mate. We'll take you. But Dolphins, like I said, their attack looked very, very sloppy. They didn't really have much chances. I reckon their first half was their only chance to put some points on the board. Like they scored 2 tries in the first half. They didn't score until the 76th minute in the second half, which came off an error from the Cowboys. So I think we're not going to see the Dolphins that we saw in 2023. I reckon we're going to see different sort of Dolphins this season. But like we said, it's only round one.
Yeah,
the Dolphins, they could go and put 50 on the Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Dragons could maybe score only 2 points.
It's impossible to have round one, let the teams be exactly as they were in 2023 in the beginning of the season. So
Exactly, and hey, don't forget the Dolphins with their team list out. They've just named Jake Averillo new recruit into the centers. I don't know why Wayne Bennett didn't chuck him into the centers on Sunday Arvo, but he's been named at the center, and young gun Isaiah Katoa has actually been named into the halfback, dropping Sean O'Sullivan into the reserves, and Tessie New drops down to reserve as well. So a couple of changes for Wayne Bennett and his 17, but I don't know. This is not the best, not the most entertaining, unless you're a Dolphins Dragons fan. Not really going to be the best game to finish off round 2, but at the end of the day, it is footy. So
yeah,
Dolphins Dragons will end things off for round 2. Both teams, they split the season series 1-1. Dragons took care of business in the first meeting, and the Dolphins took care of business in the second meeting. So that's the end of round 2. So we'll now jump to our head-to-head predictions
and bets.
So Brisbane Broncos $1.38 to the South Sydney Rabbitohs $3.07. What are your predictions for this game?
Well, obviously got back my boys Bunnies, and then So
Bunnies, I think we've had a bit of a mix up. I forgot the word, but I'll keep us going for a bit. He's had a bit of a technical difficulties. So he's gone for the Bunnies. South Sydney fan. I don't blame him. But a big one here would be the South Sydney Rabbitohs at $3.07. Not sure why they've been chosen at $3.07, which is a massive surprise, actually. Obviously we did see, you guys saw the way that the Bunnies played in Vegas.
Apologies for that.
Poor. So I don't know why they've got them at $3.07, but they are. So you've gone for the bunnies.
Yeah, I've gone, in my multi, I got bunnies head to head. Then I got player A or B for a try, which is Latrell or Cody Walker. Then I got Alex Johnson for a try.
Not bad. So my pick will be the Brisbane Broncos for this weekend at $1.38.
Mm.
And the bet that I've gone is Broncos head to head, Ezra Mam and Cody Walker for any time, over 40 and a half match points, all up multi, $20.50. So it's a big multi, big odds. So that would be my multi prediction.
Mm.
So jump over to the next game. Cronulla Sharks $1.31, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs $3.47. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna obviously go the Sharks. I think they're gonna smoke the Bulldogs. So I got the Sharkies to win both halves. Then I got Ronaldo or Katoa for a try. And I got Nico Hines for 8 points or more.
8 points.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That sounds like a try scoring fest for the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go obviously Cronulla Sharks at $1.31. I've gone Sharks 13 plus. Obviously, first game at the Shire.
Mm.
Friday night footy, I reckon it's going to be a sellout crowd against a sloppy team. A sloppy Bulldog side.
Mm.
I reckon 13 plus, under 39.5 match points. Sharks to cover the line at negative 8.5. All up multi, $5. Bit of a low odd multi at $5, but that's just my prediction for that multi.
Mm.
Game number 3, Penrith Panthers, Parramatta Eels. Panthers at $1.39, Parramatta $3.03. I am going to, as much as I do want to say Parramatta, like we said in their match preview, Penrith attack were not on all game versus the Storm, and Parramatta's attack and defense, they look like a team to beat in 2024. I would want to say Parramatta, but I don't think you can go against. It's a sellout crowd in Penrith. They've only got 2,000 tickets available for this game, so it's going to be a sellout no matter what. In Penrith, Friday night footy. 3-time champs that are back at home for the first time since their qualifying final. I think Penrith get the job done here, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I think they will too. I got them head to head because when I get, just like the end of last season, I reckon every time they get a loss, they come back big. So I think they're finally gonna
and they don't want to start the season off 0-2 for the first time in 8 years. So
yeah,
not going to be a good sign for the 3-time champs.
yeah. So I have them in my multi head to head. I think Brian Torrey will score one this match, and I got Mitch Moses for 4 more points, just to really bump those odds up. I think he'll get 4 points. I think the Eels will score some tries. I think it'll be, tough to say. I reckon it'll be a close game, but I do think Panthers will get on top.
Will definitely be a close game. So I've got Talon May anytime, Dylan Brown anytime, and Nathan Cleary for 6+ points. All up multi, $20.50.
Oh.
So another big multi. So that's going to be my prediction. Start off game number 4, Saturday Arvo footy. Canberra Raiders $1.45 to the West Tigers $2.76. Predictions.
Alright, so in this one, I'm going to go obviously the Raiders. I think they'll smoke the Tigers. So in my multi, I'm going to have the Raiders. Well, actually, I don't have them in multi. I actually have it in head-to-heads. So I'll probably say what that is in the end. But past the Panthers game and Eels, I don't really have Pacific multis like you. So I'll let you lead on with that.
Alright, well, I have gone with the Canberra Raiders, obviously. I'm predicting the Raiders to easily get up here at $1.45. And I've gone Raiders 13 plus. Obviously they just came back from a huge win over there in Newcastle, and Tigers haven't played all season. So Raiders 13 plus, over 43.5 match points. Is it Matt Timokal? Yes, Matt Timokal anytime. Dream Bullet anytime. All up multi, $17.
Ooh.
So that's my multi for this game. Game 2 for Saturday Arvo Footy is the North Queensland Cowboys at $1.42, hosting the Newcastle Knights $2.90. I'm going to go with the North Queensland Cowboys. Same as always, they're just coming for a big win. Said it before. Saturday Arvo Footy in Townsville. Cowboys are on another level, so that's my prediction. Cowboys to win.
Yeah, same. I have Cowboys to win as well in this one.
Yeah, no brainer. So this is a very, very big odds here. So I've got Scott Drinkwater, anytime try scorer. Jeremiah Nanai, anytime try scorer. And hearing that stat about the Knights not scoring more than 20 in their last 11 games versus the Cows, I've got the Knights to score exactly 20 points.
Ooh.
All up multi, $68.50.
Ooh.
So it's a very, very big multi. And if it does hit, you're welcome. You're certainly welcome to anyone if it hits. That's $68.50.
$10 at 680.
$685 for $10. You want $685? You can give it a try. But that's just my bet my prediction. And then finishing off game number 6, Melbourne Storm $1.41, New Zealand Warriors $2.93. Who you got?
Got Storms in this one. Storms have won the last 14 matches?
14 in a row versus the Warriors.
Yeah, I think the Storms will win this one. I think, sadly, the Wires are going to go 0-2 at the start of the season. But yeah, I just have Storms head-to-head on this one.
Not the sign the Wires fans want, but
yeah,
things are a bit unfortunate. So yeah, I've got the Storm again head-to-head. And for this bet, I've got Storm head-to-head. Matani Zalesniak anytime. Harry Grant anytime. Under 39.5 match points. All up multi, $41.50. So I just reckon that, under 39.5. Obviously, we saw the Warriors scoring 12 last week, Storm 8. Combine their scores, that's 20. But I don't know. I would say overs. I don't know. I just feel like we're in for an unders on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Then final 2 games: Manly Seagulls $2.02, Sydney Roosters at $1.82.
Ooh.
Who you got?
This one's a tough one. I had the Eagles, but I think that Jason Saab lost. I'm slightly going for the Roosters. It's a tough one though. I don't have any. I'm not putting anything in this game. I'm just gonna sit back, relax. But I think in my tips, I do have the Roosters.
Yeah, it will actually be a tough game, but I'm going to predict the Manly Seagulls. I reckon their team looked very, very strong after that huge win in Vegas.
Yeah.
I reckon their side looked very, very strong. So I've got Manly is my prediction.
That's fair.
And for the bet, Manly head-to-head, Tom Trbojevic anytime try scorer, Joey Manu anytime try scorer, Ruben Garrick to score 8 or more points. And all up multi, $21.50 for that game. And our final game of the round, the Dolphins, $1.98. And the new favourites, St. George Illawarra Dragons at $1.86. Those odds did change before the team list came out. The Dolphins were the favourites. What were the Dragons? Like around $2, I think, was it?
Yeah.
About $2. So Dragons now favourites at $1.86. I've got the St. George Illawarra Dragons to win this game, no doubt.
Yeah, me too.
I reckon they should comfortably get home against the Finns. And for my final bet of this round, Jermaine Asako for 6 or more points, under 45.5 match points. Hamaso, Tabuai Fido anytime, Tyrell Sloan anytime, all up multi, $26.50.
Yep, and then my final one, since the Panthers-Eels game, I only have head-to-head, so I have Raiders, Cowboys, Storms, Dragons and head-to-heads, that's paying $5, which is I actually really like. So probably chuck
It is really like
$20 on
I'm surprised at my multis on how massive they are.
it.
No, the lowest multi that I had was the $5 for the Sharks game. But other than that, the second lowest, I think, yeah, was the Bronx head-to-head, Broncos bet, and the Panthers bet at $20.50, and the very high one, Drinkwater Nana anytime, nice score 20 exact points at 68.50. So
Mm.
a lot of high odd multis here, but I don't get paid to say this. I wish I could, but gamble responsibly. I'm underage, so I don't know why I said that. But that's our bets, and that's going to round out our podcast for episode 3, the Sports on Tap podcast.
Yep.
But before we do finish things off, big announcement. Onyx, do you wanna call it? Announce it?
No, I'll give you the honors.
All right. Sports on Tap podcast now has a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try and get the link and add it to the Spotify description.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be Sports on Tap podcast. This will be YouTube channel will be run by myself and Onyx. This is where we're just gonna upload, like our podcast for anyone that can't view it on Spotify. And when we can get our face cam, maybe if we can later in the year, if we can get better equipment and get together. Obviously, as we're both recording this at separate places, if we can get us together, better equipment, we'll start doing face cam podcasts, and then start uploading them onto YouTube and Spotify. And then Onyx, who'll do most of the editing, he's going to start getting our multis on screen when we announce our bets.
Yeah, probably even do it for this podcast radio.
Yeah, I mean, like with my one, the Broncos head-to-head, man, all of that, he's try and get it on screen. If we don't get it by this episode, no doubt we'll get it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I'm still working on the Instagram account. So we'll both be running the Instagram account, which is still work in progress. So that should be up hopefully by tomorrow at the latest, if not definitely before the Bronx Bunnies game in round 1.
100%.
But the YouTube is up and running. We don't have any videos up there. So if there's anything anyone's got any ideas, let us know on our Instagram, DM us once it's uploaded, or even on YouTube when we get any videos uploaded. And like we said in episode 2, any sports you want us to get involved in, I'm sure I would definitely love to get involved in it, like say Formula 1, all of that. We got to know people. Other than that, that's our announcement.
Yeah.
And that should conclude episode number 3. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So enjoy another week of footy, lads. If you want to go on the beers with the boys at the pub, go along, mate. It's the weekend of footy. And of course, go the Broncos.
Nah, up the bunnies, up the bunnies.
And we'll see you for episode 4 with our round 2 recap and our week 3 previews.
Yeah.
Take it easy, lads.
Have a good one, lads.